Phil and Will are back off of an excellent merge episode. Great tribal council. Yeah, that was exciting, and we're gonna have to talk a lot about Jen here, and I'm sure Will is very happy that I already wrote her in as MVP for this episode, so we don't have to discuss
What?
it like last week. This was a
Jen?
no-brainer.
Jen
Like
for MVP? Really? I thought
Mike,
maybe Mike, because Mike,
yeah, this week
Mike
uh,
got so many people on his side, and
blew it.
he betrayed Will pretty much. I don't think Will's going to trust him as much. I think Mike just did a phenomenal job. He did console Rodney in the beginning, and then they had their like makeup sex, is what they called it.
That's what they called it.
Um, Yeah, so we'll start with the beginning. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm glad Jen didn't go home. It was getting scary there. It was a very random idle play. We didn't really see her get that much information. I assume Shireen tipped her off because Shireen was one of the white collars that was in the middle, being kind of asked to come over. So that they might have slipped it to Shireen. Shireen slipped it to Jen. We'll get into that as we go through the podcast. But yeah, let's start with the beginning.
Mike's. I think that Mike is pretty good at this whole damage control thing because once again, it happened the first time with Sierra. Everybody was being ruthless to Sierra, and then he was able to reel Sierra right back in. And now tonight, it didn't seem like it was really working on Rodney, but when the vote came to the vote, Rodney was voting with Mike, and yeah, Rodney has this whole plan that he's going to blindside Mike at the end. He's going to have him, Will, Carolyn, and who was it? Was it Sierra?
Kelly.
Kelly, that's right. Well, Kelly's gone. So guess what, Rodney? He still voted with Mike. So,
Yeah, it was
I think
weird.
Mike's doing good.
It was weird the way Rodney went after. I mean, not much happened pre-merge, or I guess yeah, pre-merge is what we call it for this episode.
Yeah.
Not really much happened. Kelly said she's going to stick with blue collar. I guess that ended up biting her in the back. This
Yeah.
might be a case of getting screwed by a tribe swap, and then
Because she was
still making the merge, but still getting kind of screwed by the way things shook out because Kelly didn't really do much wrong. I mean, I'm still not totally sure why they targeted her. I think they were kind of upset that Kelly didn't stay loyal to them, and she went back to blue collar even though she'd spent those 9 days on the with the no collars in Carolyn.
See, I might be thinking a little too far into this, but I believe that they went with Kelly because she was the one that they knew, and they knew that she didn't have an idol because she would have had to have hinted or tried to desperately tell somebody when they went to tribal the first time, and they might have thought that Mike or Dan or Rodney, somebody might have had an idol, so I think they might have been a little scared of that and gotten rid of Kelly. But one thing I want to draw attention to real quick, this is the second time we've started with 3 tribes, and one person has gotten stuck by themselves without anybody from their original tribe after a swap, and they were the boot at the merge. Sarah was the first one. And I wonder if that's because they get a little extra paranoid where it's like, oh man, I can't stay with these people. I really need to go back to that way. Like, because they have too many options almost, and then it ends up screwing them over in the end.
Yeah, I don't think Kelly really made any big mistakes. I'm not trying to find like how she fell. And I think that's why we didn't see more for this season was because she kind of got screwed. And with the idol thing, it sounds like a good idea. But when they were bringing up Kelly, I forget, what did Jen say? It seemed like it was more of a like I don't trust her. Like what was there when they brought up Kelly? What was that? What was that reasoning?
I kind of think it. I'm assuming it's kind of like what you said at the beginning. They thought that she was going to be loyal to them, and then when they found out she was going to go running right back to blue collar, they kind of got with that, and they were like,
right? They felt like Kelly kind of wronged them, and that they could.
But at the same time, though, I don't think that Jen and Haley. Well, obviously Jen realized, but Jen and Haley, they didn't have Carolyn or Shireen as tight as they thought they did either. So it's not like they only got betrayed by Kelly. They got betrayed by Carolyn and Shireen, too, because they both went and voted for Jen.
Wait, Shireen didn't. Shireen voted for Kelly.
See, I didn't watch the vote part at the end.
Shireen, I mean, I didn't really pay much attention. I'm almost sure. I mean, Shireen was holding Jen's hand, after she played the idol. Shireen said, "I am not a swing vote." Shireen is swung full no collar. Carolyn did vote. I think Carolyn and Tyler did both vote Jen, I think. But I don't think this was anything to do with Mike and Kelly being too tight. I don't think that really came across
Oh.
as much as we saw that last week with Kelly saying Mike's I've never trusted anyone more. But interesting merge crew. I did not see this one coming until her name got brought up. You would think they would target Rodney, maybe even Sierra. Could target Mike. Like Haley said, this will cripple the blue collars. I don't think this is that crippling, to be honest. Like, you lose Kelly, who wasn't even with them for 9 days. If you had any chance of flipping someone back later in the game, it probably would have been Kelly, since you developed a relationship with her. And I don't know. I'm still kind of questioning why they chose Kelly to send home.
Before we talk about why they chose Kelly, I got it right here. Haley, Jen, Joe, and Shireen all voted Kelly. Will voted Haley. Tyler did vote for Jen, because I know we were confused on that for a second. So, yeah, there was 4 votes, so Shireen didn't flip, so that's my bad. But we were talking about it. We thought it was going to be Rodney, because he's a strong guy. He could be a challenge threat. Why not get rid of him? I would have picked between him and Mike. I don't know why they really went Kelly first. We're kind of grasping at straws here, trying to figure out why they chose her. And we're kind of putting words in their mouth because we don't really know what the reasoning was. Like, there was no
I
great
almost
reason
want
to
to
get
just
rid of Kelly.
rewatch it right now. I want to just go to that right when her name was brought up. Like, why? Just what was that? And I think it just was something with they really thought they had her, and they felt really betrayed by her. I guess I don't know. She didn't seem, even if she was, it just seems she was pretty upfront about it. I mean, she could have played them. At least she was like, "Yo, I'm sticking with blue collar." She wasn't that big of a threat, really. I don't think they know how close she and Mike, how close they really were.
Yeah,
So
I don't either.
this is a bit puzzling. I had her at 4 in my power rankings. I still don't. I just saw it happen, and I don't really see why. But at least Jen didn't go home, and we'll get into that. The
Was
idol
Kelly?
play.
Did they say Kelly was on the jury? Because I missed that too. Because I was still in shock that Jen played the idol successfully. I was still happy, and I missed it.
I do not think. I don't think she's on the jury.
So the next person will be the first member
I
of the
didn't
jury.
hear him say that. He might have, but it's looking more in a final 3 with an 8-person jury.
I'm telling you, I zoned out because I have Kelly on my fantasy team. I had Kelly pretty good on the power rankings, pretty good on the boot list. But I was rooting so hard for Jen to stay, and it was nothing against Kelly. It was just that she was up against Jen, and I wanted Jen to stay so bad. And when Jen played the idol, I knew they were going to do that, where Haley's vote was going to be the first one. I knew Will was going to vote for Haley.
Yeah, that was really perfect how that worked out. I love when because Jen plays it, and then she sees Haley's name come up, she's like,
and they were all just like,
man,
fuck. We are done.
You got to be kidding me.
And then Jen, and they were so happy, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, wow, there were actually 7 votes for Jen, 1 vote for Haley. They only got Shireen. They were done. They were dead in the water.
But the thing is, they're with this great idol play, and they got out Kelly, yes. They're still down in numbers very badly.
We're so far ahead of ourselves, it's ridiculous.
I know. The thing is, there wasn't that much happen, up until, pre-challenge, I guess.
It was a lot of scrambling.
It was a lot of people trying, okay, we'll talk about Rodney kind of grabbing this 4. Mm-hmm. Just an oddball 4. I don't know what he kind of was thinking. He's grabbing Kelly, Mike's closest ally, who he didn't really seem to have the best rapport with when they spent however many days on their original tribe. Then you got Carolyn, who you don't really know at all. You know that Tyler and Carolyn are close, maybe. So he gets Carolyn, and then he gets Will. From No Caller, who you don't really know at all. You've never been on a tribe with him. You don't know how close he is. And that's his 4 that he wants to just lock down for a final 4. Carry along the blue collars, Mike, Dan, Sierra, and then flip on them later. What is this plan, Rodney? This is the most odd.
My thinking is, I don't understand the Kelly one at all. Kelly must have been. I honestly think Kelly played a really good game and got screwed, like you said, because I think she played a really good game. She was playing socially. I think that Kelly was playing a good undercover cop role, and Rodney thought that he was tighter with Kelly than he actually was. So I think Kelly was just playing so well that Rodney thought he could get her. I think he went after Carolyn because of Tyler and Joaquin. And I think he was like, well, if I get I have Tyler because me, him, and Joaquin were
But he
tight.
he never mentioned Tyler in that 4, which
But
is
I don't think he
bizarre.
wanted to take Tyler to the end. He wanted to take Carolyn. I don't understand why Carolyn, but he did think that he was going to have Tyler on his side, I'm pretty sure. And then I think he went after Will because Will was like, I think he saw Will as the outcast. Like, he's not really in with no collar. Let's pull in Will. I think that's what he saw. But honestly, I don't think Rodney's that good of a player. That's really what it comes down
No,
to.
he's not. That 4 was just. I mean, his big plan is to get this strong 4 and then get Mike, Dan, Sierra. That's 7 in it. It makes sense in his head, but that's so many people to like just be like, okay, Rodney, let's go with your plan.
Yeah.
I don't really. That was weird to see. Let's talk about this tribe name. This is funny
Merca.
on so many levels. I want to hear what you think first. Go for it.
Well, I live in a little town in New Jersey that half the people claim that we're south of the Mason-Dixon line, not knowing what that actually means. And they scream Merca a lot. So I think it's funny that this tribe name is Merca, and it's Merca, not Merca, like
That's the
Shireen was
funniest
saying.
part.
It's Merca.
The
Don't
joke
pronounce the I.
that I no if I'm gonna spell this, it should be Murca.
Yeah,
Merca.
Yeah.
And they butchered it in 2 places. They
Yeah.
have it with an E instead of a U, and then they have the I in there. It's America.
And they keep saying America. Like it's Merca. Like it's like 2 different words, Mer and Ka, not America. Like that doesn't make sense. I'm mad. I'm actually mad, but it's funny. It is funny.
It's funny because, and then it also kind of works on this weird level that maybe it is like kind of a survivor tribe if you pronounce it differently, like Marika. Like that's a very normal tribe name for survivor. If it was like Marika or Marisa, or I'm just trying to think of different ways to pronounce it. The lettering kind of looks.
Mariano or Marliano or whatever it was. What was the name of Amber's teddy bear or something?
Oh, who knows? Who knows?
I just remember there was one like that. Like,
yeah, it kind of works like that. It's just so ridiculous that they got the spelling of it wrong. And then Shireen is just an idiot, I'm convinced now. She was saying something about, like, I can't believe they forgot the A. That's not how you spell America. It's like, does she think that they actually don't know how to spell America? Like, this is what I want to know. What is Shireen thinking? Does she not understand that it's an abbreviation? Like, you idiot, Shireen.
I think she's just mad that is what her merged tribe name is on the season of Survivor that she finally gets to be on. They are America, which clearly I don't think Shireen ever heard the term Merca. And I just want to scream they took our jobs so bad right now because isn't that like Merca? They took our jobs. They took like the South Park.
It's from so many things. Like I think
it's so ridiculous.
It's such a.
I don't think she gets like what it is. She just knows it's like a redneck thing, and that made her mad because she's not a redneck, and she's like, "That's what our tribe name is." And then I think she was just trying to like nitpick every little bit of it, but doing it so wrong. Like she was just so wrong.
If she really wanted to nitpick it, she should have said it's spelled Murca. That's how you do it. Yeah. But her saying, like, didn't you bring up Sarah Palin? I don't think I've ever heard her say it. Like, what are you talking about, Shireen? Like, what is...
Well, that was her way of saying Sarah Palin.
I don't think she knows what an abbreviation was. Like, part of me really thinks that she actually thinks Mike doesn't know how to spell America. Like, he actually forgot the A. Like, people abbreviate things just all the time. I don't know how she doesn't see this as, like, a prideful chant that's abbreviated. Like, I don't get it. It's hilarious. I love the name. I hate these stupid merge names where they blend the 2 tribe names together. I hate that. I hate when someone makes up a word. I hate when someone names it that. I mean, we've seen them all before. That's why these are okay the first time. I hate when someone names it after like a teddy bear or a mom. We've seen that already. This is funny. We have not seen this before.
And it's funny that every time they come into tribal or into camp now, it's going to say Merca night 5, Merca night, like whatever night it is.
Not
it's going to say Merca.
Not Merca. It is America.
It's still funny. Like that's
it's hilarious. I'm just saying it's not the Merca that you would think. It is.
I know.
America. It's bizarre. It's cool. It's funny. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah. We can move on from that. I mean, you want to just go to the challenge or?
Yeah, the challenge.
all the scrambling that happened pre-challenge pretty much kept going on post-challenge because everybody was like, we're going to get rid of Joe. That was the blue collar's big idea. Once they do that, you know Joe's not going home. Blue collar's getting cocky. They're like, oh, Joe's gone, definitely Joe. And then Joe goes, and we had called this. I thought it was going to come down to Joe and Sierra. Sierra had a poor performance, but those types of guys like Joe, Ozzy, and Tyson have all won this challenge.
Yeah, that was not really a surprise that he won. I was pulling for him to win, just because it sucks when you have the person that so many people want gone
Yeah.
lose. It's great seeing that person win immunity. Always pulling for that person. Carolyn, second place. She stuck it out, did a great job.
That was impressive.
Jen got stung by, I guess, a bee. We didn't really. Jeff
Now,
just
what happens?
stung the bee without really knowing exactly what it was. So I guess it was a bee.
What happens if she's like allergic to bees and gets stung by a bee while she's in a challenge? Like if she drops out because she's going like shock, like does she lose or do they like
Oh,
let
of
her
course.
start over?
Oh yeah, you're done. You're
She
done.
just loses. I like that. I like
This
the
is
never say
Survivor,
bye
man.
mentality.
They're not.
Hey.
You don't get to come down and then go. No. You're done. You're done if she falls off.
The rigor mortis better set in while you're up there. Okay, now that's getting messed up, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, she got stung by a bee where her hand is. I thought that was funny how she was just like, where my hand is, Jeff. Because Jeff really wanted her to say vagina on camera.
I mean, it was inner thigh. I think that's probably like the best way to say it.
Yeah.
Inner thigh, an inner thigh bee sting in the Survivor Challenge. That's and then just sticking it out, staying through it. That's MVP. That's MVP material right there. I am now remembering something that happened before the challenge. Dan's jellyfish thing.
yeah.
This was great. This was awesome. He walks out of the water, got this sting. Jen's like, what happened? I got stung by a jellyfish. Put some hot water on it. No, it's okay. I already peed on it.
Yeah.
And she's like, that just doesn't do anything. You've got to put hot water on it.
Let me ask you something here. When Dan came back in saying that he got stung by a jellyfish, do you think they purposely handed him that little coconut shell of hot water? Do you think Haley did that so that he couldn't put his feet in the pot?
I was going to say that.
Haley would have had a fit again.
Right. Haley was standing right there. The pot was boiling like right there. She was definitely eyeing him like, don't you dare put your foot in our pot.
Here's this coconut. I don't care how much pain you're in. Here it is.
Yeah. So we had a bee sting and a jellyfish sting in one episode. So goes to show how, dangerous this game is.
Now, Dan was in pain, but is Dan like the ultimate exaggerator, like dad exaggerator of all time? Like he reminds me of like my dad, where it's like when he gets hurt, he doesn't just get hurt. It's the worst thing that's ever happened. Like it is the worst pain he's ever felt. Like, oh my God, I stubbed my toe and it's the worst pain I've ever felt. Like he was so mad at everybody else that he got stung by that jellyfish. Like he was so grumpy towards them, and I feel like that's just how Dan is. He can't just be like, damn, I got stung by a jellyfish. Like how Jen reacted. That's the difference here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, different reactions, but again, it is a bee sting versus like a jellyfish sting. I've
stings hurt.
I've actually never been stung by either, so I can't really compare them. I always would assume like a jellyfish sting. It sounds.
It depends what kind of jellyfish it is, though. Really?
I mean, it's Dan. If you get stung by a jellyfish, I imagine it being pretty painful. I'm not gonna knock him for.
I'm just saying.
Dan's grumpy anyway,
I was waiting for an explosion because like he saw Jen and like you could tell he was mad. And then who was it? Carolyn said something to him like nice swim, and he's like, no, it wasn't. Like he was just so like okay, he got stung by the jellyfish, but like don't get mad at your tribe.
Okay, right. Don't be like a dick to other people.
Yeah.
You can be in pain, just keep it kind of to yourself. Okay. I mean, Dan's not winning this thing, unfortunately. He's got him on my MVP team. Dan really doesn't. I mean, it would be a crazy win if Dan won. Okay, Joe wins the challenge. Let's just get into this post-challenge scramble, I guess. It wasn't all that crazy. Kind of this there at the end, Jen was like, we need to find out which one of us they're targeting. And I really do think it was Shireen. I don't think we were shown the scene. Do you think Shireen figured it out or knew or had someone tell her who to vote for?
I think she was probably told by Tyler and Carolyn. One of them probably told her. Because they were like, hey, we're all voting here. And like, yeah, they might not like Shireen, but they had to assume Shireen was with them right now. At this point in time, like what it had to make so much sense for them to be like, Shireen, look, everybody's voting for Jen, and they had to assume that she was with them. Like, why would Shireen go with the smaller numbers? And
I mean, if
you know,
Shireen was just hanging out with the no callers the entire like time though, and they
yeah,
already had the numbers, there really isn't a reason to tell her. I wonder. I'm that's what I think happened, but did Jen just kind of say, you know what, it would suck to go out with this idol in my pocket, at the merge. Like, just it would, I'm just gonna get rid of it. If they don't vote for me, fine. Or do you think she really was like, oh, I'm going.
I
I need to
think
play it.
she probably knew that they were gunning for Joe, and in her head she was like, I'm next in line. Like, I think she knew that they were going to gun for her after Joe, not Haley. And I think that's why she was like, I got to play this idol. I'm not going home right now, because her game, granted they're in a bad spot now, but if she, like, her game isn't over right now. You know what I mean? Like, she has too much left to play. So I think she was like, I got to take this chance. And I'm happy they targeted Jen. Because if they would have targeted Haley, Haley would have went home and this would have been done. If Joe would have lost immunity, Joe would have gone home.
Do
I
you
don't
think?
think Jen would have given the idol up.
Yeah, I don't think she would have either. It would be interesting. The problem with this, like, where we're at right now, is these no callers, even though they kind of flipped the script a little bit, they still don't have the numbers. And
Well,
do you want to get into that now? I mean, unless
we might as well. I
anything from
mean,
anything from Tribal that
well,
came
I thought it
across
was
as well?
great when Jen told Haley that she had the idol, and Haley's like, how? Magic. And I was like, oh, that's why it's so easy to find these things. You got the magicians and stuff out here. But I thought that was funny. But it's just like Jen's move at Tribal. It would have been horrible to see her go out like that. But at the same time, I still thought that she was probably wasting that idol. Like, part of me was still saying she's wasting this. There's no reason to play it. When that, like, fifth and sixth and seventh vote came up with her name on it, I was pretty shocked still, because I thought Tyler and Carolyn, I'm not so much surprised at. I thought Tyler, Will, and Shireen would have all voted with the other no callers and been like 6-6, but I
Oh,
guess
so
they didn't trust it.
oh, I see. I was totally feeling the opposite. I was like, if she doesn't play it, like she is probably got. Either way, I really didn't feel Jen was going home. I was
That's what
definitely
I mean. I
worried.
didn't feel like she was going home.
So if she didn't play the idol, I would have been like, oh, Tyler, Will, Carolyn, they got some votes. They have the numbers. Kelly's going. When she did play the idol, I was like, oh, they probably didn't vote with the no callers. Kelly's going. I always thought. I mean, once Kelly's name got brought up, it was kind of like, sorry, Kelly. Not that I'm happy to see her go, but that's how it goes for her.
Kelly and Jen, it's who do you have to pick here? You know what I mean? Like, it's a good cast right now. Like, I don't want to see anybody go, but somebody's got to go every week. Like, that's the whole thing. Um, if you want to get into this, like, I mean, we're obviously going to do the prediction episode one of these days, or like soon, but we might as well just talk about like where the numbers are at. Joe, Jen, and Haley, that's a tight alliance, but they're on the bottom. I could see them pulling in Will and I think Shireen's with them. I could see them
Yeah,
pulling
I
Will
think sure,
back in.
that's a four now. It's just not the four we thought.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, do you want to just talk about Will and Mike's trust test?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think Will might go back with the no collars because Mike said to him, we're voting out Haley. If you want to be with us, you got to vote out Haley with us. So Will votes for Haley and then finds out that he was lied to because they didn't trust him. And if we've learned one thing about Will, this is the second time he's been in it just for himself. Like, Will is looking out for Will right now, and I could see him jumping right back and be like, I don't trust Mike. Mike didn't trust me. He didn't even tell me the right person to vote out.
I mean, Will is not in a good spot here because now even if he goes back in with the no callers, they definitely are don't feel kind of any trust with him. I mean, he just voted for Haley for like no
Yeah.
reason. Um, it will be interesting to see where Will goes. Mike's been so good at consoling people in the past. Can you say, Will, we just wanted to see, where your head was at. We didn't know you. You've proven your loyalty. Let's take this thing to the end.
Well,
Can he save Will's vote with that?
he probably can because Will seems like he's pretty easily swayed. I don't know if he's going to. Will could go either way right now, and I honestly don't. Will's not in a
I
great
can't. I
position, but
really
he's
am
not going home.
surprised he flipped. It seemed like such an obvious. It seemed like he was just immediately, yeah, I'm in. Let's get Joe out. Like it seemed like he didn't really talk to Jen and Haley. Jen and Haley didn't really seem to approach Will or even worry about Will. It was kind of like Will is flow. He's gone. I mean, what? Something must have happened. I mean, they've been together. Jen, Will, and Haley have been together for the entirety of this game, and it was such a kind of off the cuff flip where we didn't really have a confessional saying, I'm really gonna have to make a decision. It was like he wasn't like considered the swing vote tonight at all. It seemed like he was just definitely going with these blue collars who he doesn't know really at all, except for Kelly. And now Kelly isn't even here, so I don't know who is he kind of hanging with.
I think he liked Rodney, and I think maybe his thinking was he liked his chances against Rodney. I mean, I don't know what his real thinking is. I'm surprised he went against him. It seemed like it was too random of a time for him to go against him. But then again, Will was recruited. Will doesn't really know the show that well. I'm sure he's watched some, but I know he's not a super fan like, Jen, Max, Shireen, all that. So he was recruited. So maybe he just doesn't understand the game as well. But like I said, Will's in a bad spot to win the game, but he's not in a bad spot where he's going to be the next one to get voted off, I don't think. He's a valuable vote for whichever side right now.
Yeah, it will definitely be interesting to see where he falls. Tyler and Carolyn, they voted against the no callers. Are they still swing votes? Because I kept thinking this will be when the line is drawn. There's going to be two sides, and that's what
With the chainsaw.
the chainsaw, the ice pick, the
Yeah.
what have you. And I still think it's really up in the air. I think
I'm going to be honest. I think what was keeping Tyler and Carolyn with the blue collars was Kelly. And now that Kelly's gone, I could see Carolyn and Tyler going right over with the no collars. I could see it happening easily. Because I think Carolyn was really tight with Kelly, and that's why she stayed with them, because she didn't want to get rid of Kelly. And she knew it was between Kelly and Jen. It was like, well, let's get rid of Jen. But now that Kelly's gone, I could see Carolyn being like, forget you guys. My biggest ally from your side is gone. I'm going over there.
yeah, but Shireen's over there. She doesn't like Shireen. I think there was even a mention of Carolyn saying like, yeah, I don't like those guys, those no callers. Like she spent some time with them. Did you hear that, or am I making that up?
No. That's. I mean, I. For some reason, she doesn't like him, but we never really got that until that one random line tonight. So I don't know if she was just saying that.
It didn't seem like they had a falling out. It seemed like they went on reward the last time we kind of saw them.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, they were mad at Kelly. They wanted to get rid of Kelly because she betrayed them. So Carolyn betrayed them too. Obviously, they all thought they had something going.
the problem is the no callers have all these people that betrayed them. I mean, if you think about it, you have Will, Carolyn, and now they're in the middle.
Kelly.
Everyone everyone who's kind of left them, they need them back. Tyler even I don't know what really happened at the end of Tyler and Haley's conversation, or if Tyler ever agreed to anything, but if he did, then he betrayed them too.
Yeah, it's crazy right now. They're in a bad spot, and I'm gonna be honest. I think the next time Joe loses, he's going home because he's in a really, really tricky spot right now. How does Joe get out of the spot he's in? They don't have an idol, they don't have the numbers, and he's the biggest physical threat. They wanted to break up Jen and Haley tonight because Joe won, and they saw that they were a couple, but Joe could go on a run and win every challenge.
He could. I don't like Joe's chances. We didn't really hear much from him either tonight.
He's been under the radar since after the tribe swapped. He's been under the radar since, and that doesn't bode well for him right now because he was a real big figure, and then he kind of went under the radar, and now they're merged, and now he's public enemy number one. I don't think he's in a good spot at all.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't know what they do because if Carolyn and Tyler are already sold, then it's like you have the 4 blue collars, those two. That's 6 against Shireen and the 3 no callers, and they have Will.
And
so
maybe Will.
Is this like the lines right now? Is it really a 7-4 kind of alliance? Is that what we're dealing with?
We might get a very predictable boot next week.
In Joe.
In Joe.
Or Haley and Jen.
One of
Um,
those three might be the easy boot next week, and then after that, something's got to stir up. I mean, hold on. Like, let's talk about this real quick. They get to the merge or to the merge, and there's no camp anymore, and they had to sit at the camp. That's not the twist, is it? Because if that's the twist, I'm throwing my computer out the window.
that is not the twist. The twist is some advantage, which we didn't see. I guess we had a lot going on with the merge. It has to come next week, right? Like
They
it
didn't
has
hint
to.
at it though, and the next time on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, what was that? Your shelter's gone.
Maybe they wanted to see how the three collars would work together with the white collar, blue collar, no collar, and of course
Maybe
Mike brought
so.
it up, and that got all the screen time right there. Maybe that's what they wanted to see. Mike was like, "Hey, white collars, tell us what to do," and then Tyler was like, "Go get fire and wood or something." I don't even know what he said. Water and wood.
That's I don't know. Maybe something's under. They buried something there. They had to take down the shelter in order to like hide an idol or hide the advantage or something.
Maybe that's where like everybody who was voted out first is like buried there, and like you can use them to your advantage if you dig them up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I have no clue what's going on because when I saw that, I was like, if this is the twist,
No,
I
that's
have
not the
not been this
twist, but
disappointed.
it's so weird. Like that's never happened on Survivor before,
It
right?
hasn't, right?
I don't like you come back, they merge, and it's like they are
By
at
the way, I'm going to camp.
the blue collar camp, right?
They
So there
have made
isn't.
them. They have given them like, oh, you're going to a new beach to live. They have done that before, so they do have to start over. But like, they've never had it where it's like you go back to a camp and everything's just gone.
Do they still have like the rewards that they've won or anything?
Well, Will and Rodney were sitting in their lounge chairs.
Yeah, okay. So it's they just took down the shelter. That was it.
I think that's all they did. I think they took down the shelter.
I don't know. That's got to have some. That's got to play into
There
something.
has to be a reason they did that. I don't think that they just randomly said, "Hey, let's tear down the shelter so that they have to work together." I'm thinking it probably had something to do with the collars because they love like promoting that collar stuff. But that's really, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that is a theory, and that's very thin, but also not too surprising if they were like, "Oh, they've merged." But they didn't really play that up enough to convince me that that's what was going on.
Yeah, it seemed random to me. I'm curious to see like I'm sure people will ask Jeff Probst about that tomorrow, like in like weekly Q&As and stuff, and maybe we can get an answer. But I mean, he had hinted at that when he interviewed with Entertainment Weekly last week. He had said like his teaser for this week was they will start over dot 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 literally, and it was like, oh well, is that going to be the twist? There's going to be like something literal or like what is this?
Oh man, I'm at a loss with this one. I just don't know.
I don't know.
We do have one comment on the video, I think, and it's from Brian Johnson. Thank God Jen played her idol. I can't believe Will flipped. I hate the blue collars, and I was hoping Tyler and Carolyn would flip to my favorites, the no collars, but it still worked out. And bye bye Kelly.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with blue collars right now. I don't really care for Sierra because she hasn't done anything. I like Mike just because like I always like that type of personality on the show. Dan is a character. He's a clown, but he's not a good player, and he's a little out there. And Rodney is Rodney. So really, Kelly was the only one who I really liked and was like, ooh, if she wins, I'll be good with that. Her and Mike. The other three I could really care less about. They don't pull me one way or the other. I think they're fun TV, but that's really all I get from them. I don't really want them to win or want them to play 800 times, But
I mean, I'm rooting for Joe, Jen, and Haley, and I think they kind of are setting it up that way almost. Like, uh,
they're the I-24.
yeah, it's. I wonder. Post in the comments if you would, um, if you feel like you're rooting for the no colors, and maybe you're not just because you don't like one or the people, but like it really seems like the edit kind of makes you wanna like these people more.
And I'm gonna be honest. I think that they're kind of setting you up for like Shireen was the white collar who turned into a no collar and saved the no collars. And like I think Shireen is going to be the big piece that helps them get to the end and then gets no votes because she's Shireen and nobody can stand her.
Yeah, well, it's like I thought we would know what was going on
We know
after the
nothing new
merge.
because of the idol play.
I still know nothing, and it's not even because of the idol. It's just because 7 people voted together, or 8 if you count Kelly. Um,
Well, and Will. Well,
That,
Will. Okay, you were counting Will.
yeah, I was counting Will.
Okay.
So, but that those big alliances never stay. When we see in the preview, Rodney it looks like he's targeting Mike or saying, Mike, look what happens when Mike wants to
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
something. Of course,
Well,
blame that on Mike, Rodney. It's not like you said, oh, maybe Jen has an idol.
I mean, I would say that Tyler and Carolyn are definitely getting really good edits, and then the no collars are getting the best edits. I feel like they're kind of setting up the no collars as almost like when Russell, Natalie, and Mick and Jason and Samoa, the I-24 from Cook Islands, like I feel like they're setting it up like that against this powerhouse, and then Tyler and Carolyn are kind of like the not so much they're not as insane as Shambo, but like the Shambo, the John Fincher, the Jonathan Penner, like they're kind of getting this edit where it's like they're gonna help the heroes against the villains, but they're still on the villain side.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I would know more. Carolyn and Tyler could kind of say, like, yeah, I don't like these no collar people. I mean, Tyler said it to Mike's face, like, you got to offer me something. Mike didn't really seem to offer him all that much. Haley was kind of like, yeah, just like, come with us. Um, it will probably come down, since they're both smart players, it will probably come down to who they think they can beat.
Yeah,
And that's
that's
honestly why
probably
they
where they go with
might
blue collar.
go. Yeah, that's why they probably go with blue collar.
Yeah, at
But
least for the first vote. I don't know what's going to happen after that, but at least for the first vote. And what I'm thinking with this is Tyler is an aggressive but quiet player, and I don't think people realize how aggressive he is. When he was talking to Mike, that was about as confrontational as you can be without ever raising your voice. Like he was like, "You have to understand, you're not giving me anything. I'm not going to go with you just because you need the numbers." Like he was confrontational and aggressive there, and it worked out for him because he never came up on the chopping block.
right, and I mean he was a swing vote in the middle. That's most to do with it. But then Mike didn't even really have a good response to that because Tyler and Carolyn aren't stupid enough to be like, okay, we're gonna go with the blue collars, and then wait, oh no, there's four of you, and then there's Will, Carolyn, and Tyler who aren't blue collar, and then look what happens. Rodney is the
Yeah.
one really trying to convince people Final Four. I don't think anyone else has really brought that up. You would think Haley and Jen and now Joe are pretty kind of locked into that just because they're on the bottom. But it'll
Well,
be interesting. You got anything else? I mean,
my biggest what I was thinking is Rodney is honestly playing the game the hardest right now. He's honestly playing it the hardest. He's going after everything, and I don't think that he's making smart moves, but he is trying to make moves. He is playing like ridiculously aggressive, and he is just going after it. And like I like to watch gameplay, so I'm glad that really nobody on this season is sitting back and waiting, but he's going after it. Every opportunity he sees, he's trying to take it. So like he might not be a good player, but he's definitely playing hard. So like good for him on that. I just don't see any possible way he could ever win this game unless he's sitting there with two Shireens.
Shireen and Dan.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. It's still up in the air. At that
It
point, they
depends
might
what he
just throw
does.
their
If he
votes to
makes
nobody.
moves and if he has a lot of time here to like build a resume. If he really does make moves, uh, I don't give him no chance, but I give him a higher chance than Dan. I think because Dan's not really making things happen.
Yeah. Dan's just a
I'm pulling
goofball.
for Dan.
Yeah, I'm still on the Jen train, and if Jen doesn't win, I'd like it to be Haley or Joe. And if they're not going to win, then it's either got to be Mike, Will, or Tyler. Like those are my top right now. Not Will. I meant to say Carolyn, Mike, or Tyler. Will would be like the next. Like if anybody else is going to win, like let Will win because it would be kind of funny on a season full of players. Will wins the game.
Yeah, it'll be because he's shown a little savviness at least. It'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see. I'm really interested with Will. That's kind of my biggest. Where is he going to fall in this? Is he going to feel betrayed by Mike? Okay, well, but we'll get into that on the prediction episode. So comment for MVP, I guess. I don't know if
Now
Phil's going
Jen's
to nominate
MVP.
anybody. I think Jen's got this one locked up.
I mean,
Um, comment.
we said at the beginning that if we both agreed heavily, like if something like this happened, we were just going to give the MVP points. Everybody can vote if they want, but like unlike last week where it was obvious Mike won it, like Mike was going to win. Like if you don't vote for Jen this time, I don't know what show you were watching, so it's Jen. Like I gave you the points already. I'm going to be honest.
Cool, cool. And then also comment with questions or comments or predictions. for when we do. We'll probably do our prediction video Sunday night or Monday night of next week, or it'll be Sunday of this week. So yeah, we'll read your prediction if you write a prediction. And if you have a question you want us to answer, thoughts, anything at all, comment them. We'll read them on the next show. You have anything else, Phil?
Yeah, we got to do the boot list update.
Oh right, I totally forgot about that.
You totally forgot about the boot list update. That's what happens when you send me it and I do all the scoring. All right,
right.
well, the Kelly one was a big hit for a lot of people. Like a lot of people. I was kind of surprised at how high people have Kelly. Jokesters is still in first place, but he's up to 15. And remember, he was in single digits last week. Lauren West has 22. Adam Klein and Rob Kellogg have 23. Sam Hellberg and Dory Magic have 27. Sarah Harkins has 28. Popsicle Inc. has 29. Wilbur Dess and Noah Trader have 31. That's the top 10. But, like, I'm telling you, after that, there's a lot of people who are, like, right in the 30s. Like, this one, a lot of the people at the top had Kelly, got either 6 or more points from Kelly. So, like, a lot of people, if they had Kelly anywhere near 12, they gained a lot on these upper people here. You and me didn't have her anywhere near 12, so that doesn't help.
I had her at like 8, I think.
8. I mean, we have 37. I have 37. You have 38. So we're not that far behind 10th place. But like I'm telling you, like between 30 and 40, that's where most of the people are. And then there's a lot after that really just have no chance of winning.
What's the highest score?
Oh my God, I can go through right now. Let me see. I just saw a
is someone in like the 60s or 70s?
I just saw a 58. So let me see if I can find a 60 something. Because a 58 is pretty high. Let me go through. 57 for somebody. And that's pretty much like you just guessed wrong. Oh, 59 for Mr. Crying Banana.
Oh no.
Yeah, Samuel 90961 and Mr. Crying Banana both have 59. We have to call them out, right?
Yeah, of course.
That's a shout out.
Terrible boot list.
Yeah. How could you not know? Yeah, those are the 2 highest scores. How could you not know that was going to be bad? Yeah, I mean, I think that this week really proved that we're just guessing as we go along with these predictions because that Kelly boot, neither of us had her. I think I had her at 7. You had her.
I'm gonna watch the episode again and try to figure it out. I really don't. I get kind of why because I guess betrayed them, but there's so many bigger threats to take out. I agree. And even if you're worried about an idol, why do you think Kelly doesn't have an idol? I guess you were on the beach with her, but man, definitely odd. I feel for Kelly. I think she was playing a good game. So it's too bad to see her go, but great move by Jen. Good for her. And I think that's it, right, Phil?
That's it.
Alrighty. We'll see you Sunday or Monday. Thanks for watching.